Hello everyone! If you're familiar with my channel, you'd notice that we're doing something new here today. I decided I'd branch out a little bit and thought, I can draw. I like Reddit stories. I like speed paints. And I only really know about two other female content creators within the RPG horror stories community, which is specifically Koo and Foxy Bard. So I decided to fill these very specific niches with a speed paint while I have a stroke trying to read, because I have shit reading comprehension, so bear with me. It took me a while to build up the courage to try this, especially recording my voice, because you can tell I'm not exactly the most confident recording myself. Before we get to the story, for those of you who are interested, the drawing I am currently doing in this video is a recent drawing of my girl Elizabeth Graves, my character from my current D&D campaign after she lost her eye. Today, we will be reading a story by user Immediate Diamond 808, titled D&D is for Everyone, but me. There's a link to the story in the description for those of you who would like to read along with me rather than watch the speed paint. This is my first post ever, and I don't know if I can do it here, so I'm sorry if this isn't the right place. D&D got my attention about 2 years ago. I had no idea what the game was all about, but I've always been intrigued, so I decided to give it a go. After talking with a few friends, they told me they were interested too, but nobody knew how to play, so since the idea was mine, I was the designated DM. I have to say, I'm kind of impulsive with these kinds of things, so I bought the PHB, MM, DMG, Starter Kit, and Essential Kit in one sit and watched tons of videos. Somehow, we managed to get their PCs, and I, surprisingly, translated the intricate plot guidelines of Lost Mines of Phandelver. The party, the warlock, the paladin, the druid, and the sorcerer. Okay, first problem. I tried for over 2 months to get everyone to agree to a date. I noticed some disinterest from all of them, but when I asked them if they were still in for D&D, since I didn't want to force anyone to do something they didn't want, they all told me a resounding yes. Finally, we all get together after some discussion. Our first session was okay, I guess? I had no idea what was happening, and everything I got planned went off the rails. I found myself improvising lots of situations, all of them combat-related since I couldn't remember, or even find in the book, what to do in what part of someone's turn. I was frustrated with myself for such a bad job from my part and kind of embarrassed when I had to play an NPC. But at the end of the session, apparently everyone had a heck of a time and some funny situations happened. I decided that some improvements from my side were needed, so I went back to watch more videos and read more about this strange game. I was truly invested. When I asked them when the second session was going to happen, nobody seemed to have interest in coming up with a date, and when I put up one, it was always cancelled by some of them, when not all. Once again, I thought they lost interest, but when I asked them once again, they answer yes. Second session came at last after 3 months. We got together, all fun and laughs, some food, good friends, and alcohol. I was getting my things ready when the sorcerer told us something in the lines of, "Well guys, I have to pick up my boyfriend and his friends. They want to watch us play." And they left without letting us ask why. This is where it all went down the hill with no breaks. Our party is a very shy group of people, and the sorcerer thinks there's nothing wrong in getting people together to have fun, and I totally agree, but this is D&D. Where I live, D&D is not something that cool people do. According to people in my country, D&D is played by nerds, geeks, and outcasts. And let me tell you, they say all of that the worst meaning possible that you can apply with those words. They look at you in a bad way, if you say you like minis, Warhammer 40k, or in this case, D&D. We didn't know these people that Sorcerer was bringing. We weren't comfortable with them watching us play. So with the Sorcerer still out, the rest of us decided to postpone the game, but still stay with them and do other things. Maybe play cards or another board game. When the Sorcerer came back and saw that everything was packed up and we had the other board game set up, they got mad, to the point that their boyfriend began to yell at us, and the situation got ugly pretty quickly. It didn't escalate, but it was close. The druid cried, the warlock stopped the paladin from starting a fight, and I was in shock. And the party was broken. To this day, we don't talk much. And I was ashamed, still am, because everything was my fault. I was the one that pushed everyone to do something that they clearly didn't want to do in the first place. I didn't know how important a Session Zero was to set up these kinds of boundaries. I couldn't explain myself to the sorcerer and their boyfriend of why we decided to postpone the game. After that, I decided to just enjoy D&D in a video format. Twitch streamings, YouTube videos, podcasts, and so on. In every one of them, the same sentence was uttered. D&D is for everyone. Tons of videos showed me different people from different countries and backgrounds and lifestyles, all of them playing D&D. The same advice was provided too. If you don't have many friends to play with, go to your local game shop. They'll help you. I don't have any of those in my city because, as I said before, this kind of game is weird. You are a total weirdo if you go to a comic game shop and play with minis and your imagination. Another piece of advice followed the previous ones. There are many Discord servers offering to play D&D from your home. I'm very shy, socially awkward, and I can't make friends very easily, so I thought this was a good idea because nobody could see my face. I got into one of those servers as a player, and it was pure chaos. I asked for help to set up my Roll20 account. I'm very bad with technology. My son is helping me with this post. And all I got was silence. We tried to set up a date on 3 occasions, and all of them were cancelled. At the end, they told me they didn't have time to teach me how to play, since I'm new to this game, and all I got was a level 1 rogue character. I decided to leave that Discord server. And that's it. I'm not writing this post to get into anybody's group or anything like that. It's just something I feel I need to do. To get this off my chest, because it's frustrating that I'm watching tons and tons of people have the laugh of their lives with this game, and I can't. I just assume this game is not for me. Too long, didn't read, I had a couple of bad experiences with D&D, and I'm retired now before even playing my first game. OP, if you're listening to this, I want you to know D&D is for everyone. You just had a bit of bad luck. Sometimes it's really hard to find the right group for you, but you will eventually if you keep looking. With your friends, it seems they only wanted to play just to hang out with you, which is fine if that's what you all want, but that's clearly not what you were looking for. And that second group, the one who said, I don't have time to teach newbies, that's completely fair because not everyone does have time to teach new players. However, it was a bit rude just booting you out like that. If you still feel like you want to try playing this game, I highly recommend you keep looking. It takes a little while to find a group that consistently plays with very few work scheduling issues, but once you do, it's fucking worth it, man. I've been playing myself since 2019, and I have been in about 7 groups total. Maybe more, I'm not sure. I can only think of 7 off the top of my head. And to this day, only one of them kept going. And that is my current D&D group. That is the character that I'm drawing over today. It did reboot a few times. We did have a few hiatuses, but it's still really fun. And it wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault. You didn't force anyone to play the game. They all agreed to it because it seemed they just wanted to hang out, and it was just an excuse to hang out. I'm assuming the reason Sorcerer got upset was because maybe after that first session, they decided that they liked it more than just an excuse to hang out, and just didn't really understand why you canceled. Really, the only, The only mistake I can really see that you made, or rather, there's two specifically. The only real mistakes were you started off trying to GM rather than play, and no session zero. Session zeros are important, but a lot of D&D groups do skip over that, and sometimes it turns out okay, and sometimes it doesn't. It really depends on the mix of players you get. But OP, I hope you do decide to try to get back into the hobby and you do find your forever gaming group. It is difficult, but it's worth it. Once again, guys, I really appreciate you watching this video, and even more now that you've watched to the end. If you liked this kind of thing and want to see more from me, please do that usual YouTube stuff, you know, like, comment, subscribe. If you can't think of a comment, then simply tell me your favorite D&D class. Personally, my favorite's a bard. Anyone could really tell you that. Anyways, I really hope to see you in the next video, and have a nice day!